What's going on, guys? Teen Mechanic here. Today we're back working on the LTD. Yay! Oh man, that's awesome. So, all jokes aside, I just went ahead and pulled out every single lifter. Now, I've done this without you guys. I looked at all of them as I pulled them out, and I was crossing my fingers for nowhere. And one of them really stood out to me, and now I have to find it. But we have some wear, probably because frickin' advice I got was to rev the engine up to 2,500 RPM immediately before I even knew that it ran right, and then the clacking and the ticking, that's one of them. Look at that, guys. See if you can see that there. Yeah. So there's some pretty significant wear on that guy. Very bad, actually. The rest of them seem okay, but actually I took my flashlight and I looked down into all of those lifter ports, and I looked at the cam lobes, and we have some wear on the camshaft. So we have some camshaft wear. Honestly, I'm going to put in the new lifters, and I'm going to see what happens. I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel like pulling the front end of this engine off for, third time now? Fourth time? So, I don't know, man. I mean, if the camshaft is really worn that badly, that's really bad. That's an awful thing. But I can't go through replacing another one, so I'm going to throw these in there. But honestly, the reason I pulled these back out is because they were clacking like crazy, and they didn't compress. So if I grab a push rod here, and if I walk back over here and I try to compress one of them, it's still as hard as a rock. It still doesn't compress. So these are bad lifters. Now, Rock Auto, they said, knowing them, of course, they said it's unusual for all 16 parts to be bad. So I'm expert. We'll be in touch with you within one business day. I never got an email. But either way, I don't know. I mean, some of them compress and most of them don't. So, I don't know. I got some new ones. These here are Melling lifters. Now, it does say here, which is very, very frustrating for me. It says made in Mexico. I hope I'm not too blurry, but either way, these say made in Mexico. So, these sealed power ones say made in China. Now, I don't know. I was under the impression, and I even Googled it, and I got the wrong answer, that Melling is made in the USA. I thought that was one of the things they were known for with all of their parts. I thought Melling was USA. But now that I see that it's all made in Mexico here, frickin' Jesus, dude! Now that I see that it's all made in Mexico, that really is frustrating for me. That really irks me. But anyway, we're going to install them anyway and see what happens. First things first, though, let's get one out of the box. Take a look at it. Wait a minute. That looks reused, guys. That looks like someone just did a figure eight on some sandpaper. Does that not? Like, that doesn't look professionally machined. That looks like someone just took some sandpaper to it. In fact, yeah, no, that does not look machined at all. I mean, this one compresses. This, for example, here's a good comparison. This one, I am pushing on this as absolutely as hard as I can. Nothing happens. If I push on this one with minimal to no pressure, it compresses. That's how a lifter should be. So, I don't know. That's a little weird. Let's see here if I go ahead and look at another one. Yeah, these look like they were figure eight. Now, keep in mind, I paid $111 for these guys. I paid $111 for these Melling lifters, thinking these are going to be made in the USA. Now they sell, as you can see, they sell them individually, which made it way more expensive. These ones I paid $97 for. These ones were $111. So, anyway, I'm going to go through every single one of these and make sure they compress, and then I'll throw them in there with some assembly lube and hope it works. All right, guys, in goes the last lifter. Alright, here we go. There we have it. Alrighty, so every single lifter is in now. now I'm going to put it all back together. Well, after breakfast I will. And then I'm going to get some new oil. I drained all the oil out of it. I drained all the coolant out of it also for the third frickin' time. So all the oil is out. So I'm going to go get some 10W30. Maybe while I'm there at Canadian Tire, I'm going to get some break-in oil as well as substitute. And anyway, we'll see what happens. I hope that camshaft isn't too worn, but anyway, I'll catch you guys when this is back together. You sure don't need to see me put it back together for a third time. Alright, now let's get this thing to zero lash for the third time. Alrighty, so it's actually several hours later, probably a split second for you. Everything is back together. I've poured gas in it. New lifters are in. Everything's back. Okay. This isn't going in the video, man. Everything is back together. New lifters are in. Everything is exactly as you've seen 4 or 5 times by now. So anyway, but this is the moment of truth. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I adjusted the distributor just a little bit more advanced. We'll give it a try, second try. Any fuel? Any smoke? Okay. This hopefully should be our third and final attempt, even though the last one was technically successful. Let's give it another try. Hopefully this is it. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Now you heard it was tapping pretty bad there. That's a lifter tap for sure. Either a lifter tap or valve train noise, although I got that valve train pretty much exactly where it needs to be. I don't know. I'm going to try and retard the timing a little bit more. It seemed to actually worsen when I adjusted the timing, which doesn't make any sense at all, but I'm going to try it because, you know, hey, maybe I'll be superstitious and it'll work. Anyway, I'm going to adjust that timing, put a little bit more gas in it, and then hopefully it starts. I'm gonna see if it'll start with no gas put in the carb and on its own battery power. Let's just see. Okay, so you heard that. It actually fired right up with no issues at all. That's pretty neat, actually. And it's not even smoking anymore. That is fantastic. Okay, now I did come back here. I never actually cleaned any of this up, so I'm pretty sure that's from last time. Yeah, as you can see, I don't clean up ever, which is actually not all that great. I mean, you can see this is because we were cleaning today. This is not normal. As most of you guys know, but anyway, it taps, but it doesn't tap to the, like, as it was before where it was clacking. Like, it was, the lash was bad and the lifters were bad. It was clacking. Now it's tapping. There's this sort of system for taps and knocks that I've come up with. It's interesting. It's kind of like a severity scale. The top is banging. That's like if your engine is like it's backfiring, or and rods are all knocking, and you've got bearing clearance issues, and it's like the worst possible sound you can imagine. Next is knocking. That's if you've got a rod knock. Okay, that's a rod knock. It's just like a knock. Then you've got what is it? You've got, I believe, clacking is what I said. Clacking, which is like bad lifters, or it can bend push rods. That's more top end noise. Then you've got tapping, which is what I have, which is loud enough that it's not good, but it's not the worst, and it could be caused by either a collapsed lifter, it could be a lifter tap, could be valve lash. Then you've got ticking. It goes clacking, which is a valve train scale goes more clacking, then tapping, which is mine, and then it goes to ticking, which is if you have maybe like a lifter tick, or where it's more of a tick 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 rather than a tap 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 tap, or a clack. So the ticking is really at worst what I would like with this car. That would be like fuel injectors oftentimes tick, although this is a carburetor obviously, but still fuel injectors tick. Sometimes you can have valve train issues that will cause it to tick. That's my scale. I kind of like that. But anyway, as you can see and hear, this thing is tapping. Now, I don't think it's a lifter tap. I sure pray it's not, because I have spent well over $250 in lifters, including shipping by now. So I'm really hoping it's not lifters. I don't think it is, honestly. It just sounds like I could probably get away with adjusting the valve lash. Now, also, it sounds like it's maybe 1 or 2 valves. It's not like all of them clacking like it used to. Oh boy, this is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to try and start it one more time under its own power with no help. I'm going to see what happens. And I'm also going to listen. I'm going to leave it running for a little bit. It's running on all 8, which is cool. And then I'm going to try and pinpoint it. I don't have high expectations. I just want to hear if it's more bottom end, or not bottom end, but like, you know, closer to the camshaft, or more top end, like where all the rockers and push rods and stuff are. Either way, let's give it a try to try and determine whether it's a lifter or like valve lash. Oh yeah, that sounds bad. Okay, no, I'm not gonna leave it running like that. So what I'm gonna do now, after all of this work that I've done, pulled the top of the motor apart for the 3rd frickin' time. Let's do it a 4th time. Oh, God's sake. I'm gonna go ahead and pull off both valve covers now, and check the valve lash and see if maybe I compressed it too much, or if it's too loose. That honestly sounds like a lifter tap now that I think about it, more than a upper valve train. So I'm gonna do that off camera, because you sure don't need to see me do valve lash or take the motor apart for a 4th frickin' time. So let's I'll do that, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. Well, I'm not saying this is the culprit of our tap, but look at that, eh? Oh, that was Canadian. Wow. Like, this just truly, like, come on, man. Come on, man. It's just truly endless with this car. Like, it's so endless. Like, I just... Oh, man. Like, this just so... is so freaking frustrating. I'm not putting any more money into this car. I mean, no more. Like, okay. If it needs... I don't know. If it needs some little nitpicky thing, after I have already got this thing sorted with putting no more money into it, sure. Once I know it runs well. But, now we've got Milkshake. So, this thing has a coolant leak. Now, interestingly, when I fired this up, it had white smoke coming out of the exhaust, now that I think about it. Not a blown head gasket, or not a badly installed head gasket. That's the intake manifold. That's exactly what that is. The intake manifold gaskets have been reused probably 4 times. 4 times. And I cannot, like, that's... Actually, no, they haven't been reused 4 times, because I got new ones. I didn't use the original ones, obviously. But, yeah, no, so it also started leaking from the back of the motor, and I thought, oh, great, head gaskets or something, because it was coming from that area. I followed it up a little further. It's coming from the intake. I tightened it down, and it stopped, but if that's the case, it's probably leaking somewhere else into the cylinders, too. Also, I don't know how it's getting into the oil passages, unless it's either, it might be leaking internally and going into the lifter valley or lifter galley, whatever you call it, and dripping right into the oil pan. Now that is really bad for my camshaft. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the dipstick, and we're going to see how much froth we have. Okay, so if you're wondering why there is some tinfoil everywhere and the valve covers are off, yeah, I'm going to start it with no valve covers. So I want to see which one's clacking. I snugged all the bolts down, like snugged them by hand with an extension. Of course there's sirens, of course, right when I'm fighting with daylight. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot here. I'm going to see if it'll start, see how much oil sprays out, hopefully none. I, by the way, drained the front drain plug, and it was Milkshake, 100% Milkshake. The back is not doing that, so I don't know. Anyway, drain that out, added a little bit more oil. So now, let's go ahead and see if she'll start. This thing, anytime it makes a spraying or hissing or anything sound, I get very, very scared, actually. I'm pretty sure that's PTSD of some kind. But anyway, yeah, no, it's still bringing up Milkshake right to the top of the engine. It's all Milkshake. Yeah, that's really, really annoying. Okay, I'm going to start it again. It's not leaking any fuel or anything, no, so we're good. I'm going to start it again. Okay, let's do it again. I'm really running out of daylight here, so let's give it another try, and hopefully I can pinpoint where that tap is coming from. And that Milkshake, all the stuff I did in this video has to be redone. There will not be a video on that. I'm not going to be tearing down the intake and everything a fourth time on camera. So anyway, let's go ahead and start it again and see what happens. Well, it's actually quieted down a little bit now, but yeah, no, that Milkshake is really bad for the new camshaft, really bad for the new lifters. So I can't really run this thing until I tear this whole frickin' thing down again. Okay, I think I'm gonna pretty much leave this where it is at for tonight. I'm gonna start it one more time though, because we're not getting any oil flinging out or anything, so I'm gonna start it one more time. And I'm going to see if I can snug down a bolt that will... I'm going to adjust this while it's running. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't want to do it... I don't want it to last too long, because like I said, like you can see all the Milkshake. And it's just Milkshake lubricating our brand new camshaft and all that stuff. So this is tremendously terrible for the engine. But it's okay. It still has some lubrication properties. You know, oil isn't all that important to engines, so I'm just going to bite the bullet. I'm just going to wing it, and we'll see what happens. And I'm actually not going to leave it there. I'm not going to say, and we'll see what happens, because I know my luck, so I'm going to do it. Period. Here we go. Well, that's valve train noise. I'm going to go ahead and get my ratchet, make it a little easier. Okay, it's all of them. This is really bad, actually. I gotta stop starting and stopping this thing. Alrighty, guys, I sure hate to leave it here. I really was hoping that we could take it up the street in this video. I hope that every video, although it never seems to happen. But anyway, it's running way better than last time, which is fantastic. I don't know, like this is quite I don't know. The fact that I have to rip all of this down again is really, really frustrating. But you know what? I mean, I'm going to keep doing it until I get it right. At least that's what I hope. I hope I don't give up. Mostly because I need the money out of it. Actually, no. Mostly because I want it to run properly. The money, honestly, if I cared about the money, I would have sold this thing a long time ago. I am selling the DeVille. I've decided I don't need the DeVille, as cool as it is. I don't need it, and I don't feel like doing all of the work to it right now. I want to get this project finished before I start other projects. So anyway, again, I hate to leave you like this, but I'm gonna hopefully, like, honestly, you've seen enough on this car. I said it, I think, last video. You've seen enough on this car. You don't need to see any more. You don't need to see me tear an engine down for a 4th time. You don't need to see me, like, honestly, it's cool to see me adjust the valves while it's running. That's cool. But, you know, you can go watch any video on YouTube about that. There's lots of them out there. And honestly, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to record hours of video and edit it all so you guys can watch the same thing. So, hopefully, next time I see you guys, and next time next time you see this car, not in the background, but next time you see this car at all, you know, where I'm paying attention to it, I hope it's running properly. That's my goal. So anyway, stay tuned if you want to see some other cool stuff like the Suburban. I'll give you a quick update on it. Nothing has really happened. Actually, yeah, no, it has, because I forgot I filmed that first video before I did quite a few things. You'll notice it has a back window now. That's fantastic. I went to the junkyard and I really lucked out. I found a back window. Actually, no, you knew that. I put that in the video, but I installed it, which is nice. Motor still doesn't work. I put it in, the motor, the one I got from the junkyard is kaput, so it needs a new motor still. 133 bucks down the tubes. Anyway, still no dash pad, still a cracked windshield, although I did find a windshield for it. 250 bucks, that's a pretty good deal. Needs new tires still. I fixed the exhaust leak, sort of. It's still pretty loud. It still ticks, but from the manifold. But it's not nearly as bad as it was. Not even close or comparable in any respect. But I mean, I don't know. It's I did get the stereo working. If you remember the last video, oh, it's gonna be locked. I went through it and I took out all this stupid wiring that was running to speakers back here. Those are now in either side of it, so one of them is over there, and then I went to the junkyard and got a stock GM speaker for there, and it actually sounds pretty good, I must say. Also, I put one of the other Monaco speaker, the other speaker I got for the Monaco, I put there, and I relocated one of the small yellow ones to that side, and there's not one in this side yet. But that's really all there is to say about this thing. The interior is really shaped up quite a bit. I vacuumed it all out, which is really nice, and I don't know, I mean, we still have a spare rim there, needs all new tires, but anyway, I don't know, I might paint it, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I gotta get out of here. It's really getting dark now. If you want to see more on the LTD, I know you're not gonna, but if you do, if you really, all of you want me to record it, I'll do it, but don't count on it unless you comment on this video right now saying that you want to see it. It's not going to happen. The Suburban, stay tuned for that. It's pretty cool. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Hi there. This is Steve, and everybody knows the universal auto mechanics symbol for stop. It's
PSA.